Don't trust them.
Well, we're trying to say, rather than debate beliefs, we can prove these things with scientific experiments.
Oh my god, we should do this.
Yeah, because there's this whole thing of it, like you should still publish negative results in science because it doesn't prove something.
But they mostly only publish what's peer reviewed and accepted by people in their own
but they all
academic
select
field.
what they peer review, so it's kind of a issue.
When there's agenda, and it's usually money driven, there's always lies. And the problem is they're taking $100 million worldwide taxes, which is nearly the same as £100 million per day. That's 40 billion a year that could help end world hunger. It could go towards researching cures and preventions for illnesses. They're also trusting NASA to do this geoengineering, which is chemicals. You can see the aeroplanes are equipped to
skies, have you?
They used to be short, now they're really long.
Clear today.
Well, they used to be really short and they used to disappear. Now they last for hours because it's chemicals that are used to supposedly combat climate change. And we're thinking, why not take away the patents of renewable energy from all these rich gits before putting more emissions in the sky that we're all breathing in? So we're worried about the secondary effects on life because there's no independent investigation, because most people, like myself, didn't know that this was even happening. You just thought, oh, the aeroplanes are... How come their emissions are worse yet our cars have to get better every year, So it's not emissions, it's actually put out there to supposedly combat climate change, but we don't know if we can trust them even on that. But like I say, we don't know if it's got any secondary effects, because they're also promoting GMOs as safe. Anti-vaxxers are stupid when we're only saying take away the mercury, and we're also saying maybe we shouldn't be so trustworthy about all this radiation that we're all in.
Like the 5G thing, I read about
Exactly. Yeah. These guys are promoting all that stuff as if it's totally safe, and these are the same people that are, promoting Twin Towers blowing up years before it happened. We're being programmed. So do check them scientific experiments. They're really easy. All you have to do is make a video of those stars, any star or planet, and you'll see that they're not that far away. You watch the video you've made in slow motion and you'll see high definition, beautiful stars are.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a lovely day. Hello, we're not asking people to believe, we're asking people to check for themselves. Moonlight chills water. You only need a thermometer in about half an hour and you'll see it drop in temperature. In your own garden, you can do it with one glass or two. You'll also be able to check at water level, and you'll never find any landscape or buildings along the coast or islands out at sea lost behind curvature. So we're told that there's mathematically 80 meters drop after 20 miles, but we can see in reality that there's not. And also, if you make a video of stars and watch them in slow motion afterwards, you'll see they're not 20 trillion miles away. So the Big Bang's a load of shit, because otherwise we wouldn't still be in line with the pyramids. We still see the same zodiac after 10,000 years.
Okay, I'll read.
Thank you very much. Have a lovely day. Moonlight chills water within half an hour. All you need is a thermometer and a glass of water in your garden. That's why you see half a moon in front of the sun sometimes, because it's its own light. It's chilling water, it's not heating it. Also, there's no curvature found at water level, yet we're told that Earth's 70% covered in water, so if it's level it can't be a ball. We don't know what shape it is, we don't want to debate beliefs, we're just saying we're being lied to. Check the math and check the observation, and make a video of stars, and then watch the video in slow motion, and you'll see there's no distortion, there's high resolution of beautiful geometric shapes changing within a millisecond. That's why the Big Bang's a load of bullshit, because they're still in line with the pyramids. So if they're not that far away, there's no excuse for this Big Bang bullshit. It's more likely that the yin-yang symbol is a bit more true than this globe model that we see spinning, yet we don't see the clouds moving. You check it out now, you've got an idea of what we're on about. And they're taking $100 million worldwide taxes a day to fool us with Hollywood imagery, which is a lot of money that could help research illnesses and end world hunger. And the same guys are promoting that everything else is safe without any independent investigation, listening to independent investigation claims. And NASA are trusted to spray the skies with chemicals for geoengineering to combat climate change, again without thinking about that we're breathing it in. We shouldn't trust so much. Science is supposed to be observable, measurable and repeatable, not religious, yet we tend to just believe everything we see on TV nowadays. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. You have a good day. Thank you. of worldwide taxes a day. We're saying stop giving us Hollywood imagery and show us some real evidence. We've done experiments and we're asking people to repeat them. Moonlight chills water within half an hour, so how can it be reflecting sunlight, a rock in space? And also they're telling us that we're living on a ball, yet when you check the math, 20 miles distance is supposed to give 80 metres drop, yet where I live I can see buildings completely in the daytime, and I can see street lights along the beachfront at night, and you could think, oh, it might be light refraction, a hologram, but then you go to Blackpool and you can see the Isle of Man 100 miles away. It ain't no hologram, it's that there is no curve at water level. So if the Earth's 70% covered in level water, it can't be a ball. Is it flat? Is it fourth dimensional? We don't know, but do check for yourself. Thank you. And also make a video of stars with or a planet, and watch the video in slow motion with lots of zoom, and you'll see that they're not 20 trillion miles away. So that Big Bang's a load of crap as well. They're having us on. That's why the pyramids are still in line with Orion's belt, and we still see the same 12 zodiac as the Aztecs and Mayans. We're being lied to, bro, and they're spraying the sky. Help us spread the lies. Thank you. Have a great day. It's interesting, eh? It is, but guess what's more insane? Believing a scientist instead of doing your own experiments. Yeah, if you go on NASA.com, go on NASA.com and look at the images.
The images of the Earth were taken long before the moon landing. It was Apollo 8, so all Apollo 8 was lying, was it?
Go on NASA.
Before Apollo 11.
Go on NASA. I'll stop it if you want. Go on NASA.com. Can I give you a flyer, girls? We're not asking people to believe us. We're just asking you to check for yourself. Moonlight chills water.
My friend's so into all this.
Good. Moonlight chills water within half an hour. Ask your boyfriend if he's done that experiment, and then he'll know instead of believing what these videos are telling us on YouTube. If you use a magnifying glass, it'll drop even more in temperature.
Really?
Yeah. But check it out, don't believe me, I could be lying. Because, you know, these guys take $100 million of worldwide taxes per day to fool us with Hollywood imagery.
Yeah.
And we're saying that's got to stop, because that money could go towards ending world hunger and researching illnesses, you know, prevention and cure of illnesses. Also, you can make a video of stars and watch them in slow motion. They say that they're so far away that the twinkle's distortion, yet you won't see any distortion when you watch that video in slow motion. They're beautiful, they're really close.
Yeah.
And also, there is no loss of landscape behind curvature, no matter what distance at water level.
So much about
Good girl, good girl.
No, I don't believe in anyone's been to space.
Good girl. That's the main thing. That's the main thing. They always. It's like
get through the radiation belt.
It's like the global warming thing. They have us arguing about global warming when really we should be arguing about the toxins we're putting in the air.
Yeah.
You see, they always change the argument. So we're not trying to say the Earth's flat. It could be fourth dimensional, or it could be a heck of a lot bigger.
Yeah.
But either way, they're lying to us, and that's what matters. You know, the money they're stealing. I'll give you another one actually. And they're also in charge of geoengineering, which is where they add more emissions to the sky to combat climate change. And you're like, again, we're adding more toxic shit to the air rather than take it away.
Yeah. Emma's really into I know, literally, like, every single day.
Yeah, and isn't it awkward, strange that the same guys are promoting GMOs, vaccinations are completely safe, and that mercury's got no danger in there, and 5G's no danger. It's like, come on, enough's enough. We've got to stick up for ourselves. They're lying to us with propaganda, and they're making us argue it between ourselves. You know, and everyone's laughing at us saying we're flat earthers, and we're like, we don't want to say the Earth's flat, we're just saying we're being lied to, and you hit the nail on the head. Space exploration is a scam. That's the argument. But they've brought out this flat earth stuff so that we're all debating between each other, like they've always used religion and politics to keep us divided. Now they're using science, and we're saying do the science instead of believing scientists.
Yeah.
Do you want another one? Yeah, thank you. Yeah. That's some other stuff on there as well, in case you boyfriends aren't into it already. There's loads of evidence around the world that there's been a big mud flood because buildings have got windows and pillars and doors underneath the main floor. So it's like, we're saying we're not here to debate beliefs. There's evidence everywhere. It's just, are we going to believe the mainstream narrative because we trust them? Or are we going to trust our own senses and trust our fellow man or woman and say, no, there's money behind them. I'm not asking for money. I'm just trying to get people to wake up because I'm seeing all this crap sprayed in the skies where I live in Spain every day, and I'm saying I'm breathing that in. Kids are breathing that in. Yeah, there's loads of images like that on the internet now. Now the funny thing is, they don't deny it on the Spanish government website. They're saying, yeah, we're trying to combat climate change now.
Yeah.
But for the last few years, everyone's been debating about chemtrails, and now they admit that they're doing it. Why did they deny it for all them years if they weren't up to nothing fishy? That's what I'm saying.
Strange.
Hey, I really enjoyed this. Thank you. I've had so many rude...
I know, you're brave doing that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And tell your boyfriends to do the same as us. Even if not face to face, keep it online. Spread the word. Thank you. Thank you. Can I give you a flyer, guys? You heard about all that, yeah? We're not asking people to believe us. We're not trying to say that we know the Earth's flat. We're just saying that we know space exploration's a load of shit and that they're lying to us. How do we know? Well, we've done the experiments. There is no curvature at water level. There's supposed to be mathematically 80 metres drop after 20 miles. If you don't want to be in, just move out. The point is, I live in Benidorm and I can see Alicante 20 miles away in the daytime, and I can see the street lights at night time. The street lights along the beachfront. So there is no curve at water level. And if Earth's 70% water that's level, how can it be a ball? Yeah, but apart from that, Moonlight chills water. You can check yourself with a thermometer. In half an hour it'll drop 2 or 3 degrees. If you use a magnifying glass, and it'll drop even more. And make a video of a star or a planet and then watch it in slow motion, and you'll see that they're not 20 trillion miles away. So the Big Bang's a load of bullshit to make us feel like we're nothing. We're not nothing. We're geocentric, and they take $100 million of our worldwide taxes every day. That's $40 billion a year that could help end world hunger. It could help investigate cancer and things. You know what I mean? It's a lot of money. And also, they're spraying the skies with chemicals to combat climate change. How about the rich gits stop buying up renewable energy before we put more crap in the sky and make it more toxic? They're promoting all this stuff because they're all bothered about the money, and we're just saying we've got to do the science and tell people that we're being lied to. So please check it out for yourself and tell your friends and family.
Okay, right.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day. Well, this is the point. They take $100 million of worldwide taxes per day to keep us fooled with Hollywood imagery. How do we know this? Because we've made their own experiments. They're so easy. So easy. Natural science. You should believe your own observations rather than believe in scientists. Moonlight chills water within half an hour. There's no curvature at water level. Now, I don't know if the Earth's flat, so I'm not going to debate that it is or try and preach to you that it is. I just know that it doesn't curve as much as they tell us. It doesn't seem to curve at all. I live in Benidorm, and 20 miles away I can see buildings from top to bottom in the day. Heck yeah. I'll show you why in a sec. And also you can see that stars are not that far away when you make a video and then watch that video in slow motion. There's no distortion when them twinkles. You hold on that for a sec. I'll show you why the moon landing is fake. First of all, Michael Jackson's the only one that can do the moonwalk. I'm sure you agree with that one, don't you? Yeah? So do we believe the moon landing because we've seen it on TV when Moonlight...
Not done anything for like 20 years either.
Exactly. Good lad. Give me a hand. Good lad. I mean, that's a bit suspicious, isn't it? Now also, Moonlight chills water, as I say. So if it chills water from here, how are you going to walk on it? You'd freeze, surely. Like you couldn't walk on the sun because it'd be too hot, so how are you going to walk on the moon? But here's the good evidence, yeah? If there was really satellites in outer space, how come we've never seen a weather report in real time from above? How come we've never seen Great Britain from outer space? We always see cartoons, Disney, like Spider-Man and The Incredible Hulk. I don't believe in them, even though I've seen them on TV. Now watch the Red Bull skydive again now that you've got this you've got new eyes, if I may say so. When he opens the door, it's not only horizontal, it's also eye level. Yet if you're on a ball, the higher you go, the lower the horizon should drop. Yet we know on an aeroplane we can look out the left window, we can look out the right window, we never have to look down for the horizon.
It's like slightly curved though when you're on an airplane.
It seems to be, but if you take a photo and then zoom in, you'll see there is no curve. If anything, it's the windows of the aeroplane that might just give it that little bit of an effect at the edge. But it doesn't curve that much like Red Bull pretends it does. And if it did, where's the water? Well, I'm asking you to check the video now that you've seen my images in case I'm lying to you. There's no water on that ball that they show you in the Red Bull skydive. Now, if Earth's 70% covered in water, where's the water? They're lying, they're using a fisheye lens like a GoPro.
What happens when you get to like the end of the world then?
Well, supposing it's flat, supposing it's flat, I guess that the Antarctica contains the water, like you need a dish or a bowl to contain water. But I don't know if the Earth's flat, so I'm not here to debate it's flat. Could be a fourth dimensional shape, like the yin-yang symbol might represent the sun and the moon are the same size and that they do rotate above us, like our eyes see. But they tell you, don't believe your eyes, believe our lies, because we take $100 million a day from you. And that could end world hunger and go towards investigating cures and preventions for illnesses. So it's a lot of money. And also, we shouldn't be trusting them guys to put all these chemicals in the sky, because they say it's to combat climate change. I'm not that worried about the temperature. I'm more worried about the toxicity of the crap that we're breathing in. So maybe we should get all these rich gits that have got the patents for renewable energy and say, oi, no. Yeah, before we start adding more crap to the skies. It's common sense. But like I say, make a video of stars, check the moonlight with a thermometer and a glass of water in your garden, and look at water level, because you're pretty close to the ocean here. No matter the distance, you'll never lose landscape behind the curve. So there's no curve. If water's level and it's 70% covered in water that's level, can't be a ball. You know what I mean? But yeah, do check it out for yourselves, and if you find out that we're onto something by doing experiments and knowing instead of believing in theories, please tell your friends and family, because it's a lot of money, like I say, and it's everybody's air. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Have a great day. Have you ever doubted the moon landings?
No, actually I haven't. I'm a scientist. I'm not.
Well,
no.
oh, you're a scientist. Check moonlight with a thermometer and a glass of water. No, that's not very scientific. We're saying that moonlight chills water, and you'll know if you check for yourself. Yet you're a scientist. That's strange. Wow. That's not science, darling.
It's not going to be the same curvature uniformly across the world. There will be parts that are flat.
Hello. We're asking people to do this experiments and see for themselves, because there's a lot of theories, and when these guys take $100 million that are worldwide taxes, by the way, per day, that could maybe go better towards investigating cures and preventions for illnesses and ending world hunger, we're saying this Hollywood imagery that you're presenting us isn't enough evidence, especially when we can't see any measurable curvature no matter the distance at water level. So if Earth's 70% covered in level water, it can't be a ball. So that ball that they're showing us isn't real. And how do I know as well? Because when you see it spin, you don't see the clouds move. So it's Hollywood imagery. They're lying to us for a lot of money. Also, we found that moonlight chills water within half an hour by about 2 or 3 degrees Fahrenheit. But if you use a magnifying glass, it'll decrease even more in temperature. So I don't believe that they've walked on a cold rock, because it ain't a rock. It wouldn't be cold if it was reflecting sunlight. And also we've seen that stars, and there's no distortion when you watch the video in slow motion. You'll see that they're a lot closer in high resolution, so they aren't 20 trillion miles away like we're being told, which is why they're all still in line with the pyramids, and we still see the same zodiac as the Aztecs and Mayans. Mind-blowing, I know, but we're just saying to people, check for yourselves, because the governments trust them to spray all that stuff in the sky to combat climate change. I'm more worried about the toxicity on our health rather than the temperature, but they're just programming us to believe everything they say, and that we should trust that GMOs and vaccines couldn't be improved, and that 5G and all that has no health effects on us. Maybe we shouldn't trust them so much. Science isn't supposed to be religious. It's supposed to be where we compare evidence and come to a new theory or concur that we don't know. Better off saying we don't know where we are than believing we're lost in space and insignificant. That's our thought.
Cool, okay, I'll have a read.
Thanks, bro, I appreciate that. Have a great day.
If you're rising on a ball...
Hello. We're asking people to check for themselves. Instead of believing scientists, which is religious, we're doing the science experiments. They're easy. You can see that...
I'm aware of the science
You've
and the counter views. So.
No, did you know that moonlight chills water?
Sorry?
Did you know that moonlight chills water? Because I've made an experiment. It's dead easy and you can repeat it. That's science, isn't it? Observation, measurement and repetition.
That's part of it, yeah.
Good.
I also know that the Earth is round.
Maybe, but
No,
what?
We can see it from video. Yeah, but I'm not going to argue with it.
No, I didn't want to argue.
Your view.
Muy buenas. Me llamo Howard.
Yo, Aitor.
Aitor.
Yo, John.
John. Mira, chicos, yo vivo en Benidorm, ¿vale? Y yo he ofrecido 10.000 euros por una prueba de curvatura hace 1 año y medio, casi 2 años ya. Porque yo puedo ver a Alicante a 20 millas, que son 30 y algo kilómetros de distancia recta. Debe haber 80 metros de bajada en cada dirección en 30 y algo, 33 kilómetros. Pero yo sé que no hay, porque no es la matemática que engaña, es los científicos que cobran mucho dinero, ¿vale? El agua está siempre nivelada. ¿Cómo lo sé? Porque aparte de ver de Alicante de Benidorm, también puedo ver a Ibiza desde Denia, que son 111 kilómetros. Debe haber 1.000 metros de bajada. La isla de Ibiza...
¿Quieres decir por qué es redondo, no?
Si hay una bajada, el paisaje debe estar ocultado atrás de la curvatura, pero no está. Veo la isla entera de Ibiza si no hay niebla, y la isla de Ibiza, la montaña más alta, tiene 475 metros de altura. Entonces, si hay 1.000 metros de bajada, ¿cómo veo la isla entera? Entonces nos engañan por 100 millones de euros o dólares. Euros es lo mismo, de impuestos nuestros, impuestos mundiales al día, que suma 40 billones al año. Es un montón de dinero que podría investigar a curas y prevenir enfermedades y ayudar a acabar la pobreza mundial. Entonces es un scam, es una estafa grande. Y aparte que no hay curvatura, la luz de la luna enfría el agua en solo media horita. Lo podéis comprobar con un termómetro. Y se ve si pones un magnifying glass, un cristal de magnificación, que baja más todavía. Igual que podemos quemar cosas en el día, pues podemos enfriar las cosas por la noche. Cuando es luna llena o al fase de merengue, o como se llama, la semana a partir de la luna llena. Aparte de eso, hacemos una grabación de las estrellas con una cámara moderna, con la lente grande, y podemos verlo en velocidad lenta y apreciamos que no hay distorsión para nada. Son súper cercanas, no son a 30 trillones de kilómetros como nos digan. Entonces, no sé si es tierra plana o forma cuartidimensional, no me importa. Es que siempre nos han hecho debatir de política, de religión, y ahora nos tienen debatiendo de tierra plana. El debate debe ser sobre la estafa de agencias espaciales que llevan mucho dinero para engañarnos con Hollywood. Imágenes de un globo, lo habíamos visto girando, míralo otra vez y verás que no mueven las nubes. En medio rotación, que son 12 horas, si las nubes se mantienen lo mismo, fijo, es Photoshop, es Disney. Entonces, aparte de eso, el gobierno de España admite que confíen en NASA a fumigar química para combatir el cambio de clima. Pues me importa un huevo la temperatura, me importa más los tóxicos que estamos respirando. Pero como siempre nos tienen debatiendo sobre la temperatura. ¿Estás con vacunas o contra vacunas? Estoy contra el mercurio en las vacunas, ¿vale? ¿Ves? Siempre nos hagan debatir entre nosotros.
Siempre mientras preocupados con otras cosas
para que no despertamos al dibujo grande. Si queréis, os puedo dar el folleto en castellano, porque lo tengo en castellano también. Lo que pido yo es que una vez que habéis comprobado que no miento yo, porque puede ser que yo he usado Photoshop y que tengo un montón de mentiras aquí, una vez que habéis visto que baja la temperatura de la luna y que no hay curvatura a nivel de mar y que las estrellas están muy bonitas y muy cercanas, ayúdanos en compartir que nos mienten, porque es mucho dinero y es al aire de todo el mundo. Me explico bien, ¿no? Es que soy guiri. Me llaman el guiri de la tierra plana, pero como digo, puede ser una forma cuartidimensional. ¿Qué más importa?
¿Qué defiendes?
¿Y tú cómo dices pues que es la...?
Yo digo que nos mienten y que no me gusta que perdemos tanto dinero importante y que vamos respirando tóxicos. Yo solo quiero que tenemos transparencia en los gastos y que tenemos investigación independiente y que nos hacen caso si hay tóxicos y problemas y que no nos mienten hasta la historia y no nos programan a aceptar las agendas de quitar los torres gemelos y eso, a hacer guerras, cuando sabemos casi todo el mundo que son al gobierno de la sombra, que está manipulándonos, dándonos miedo para que siempre confiamos y dependemos en ellos. No falta que hay políticos hoy en día. Tenemos un móvil en que podemos votar sí, no o dar otra opción en Facebook, pues hace una plataforma de votación y en tiempo real y con transparencia, nada de secretos, que vemos no solo los votos, que vemos las ganancias y los gastos, donde va todo el dinero, es obvio, pero nos tienen siempre preocupados, ocupados, distraídos y contra cada uno vivo en vez de estar unidos. Os voy a coger folletos. ¿Os ha gustado la conversación? Muy bien, muchas gracias, chicos. Thank you. What it is, NASA and all of the space agencies around the world, we don't know what shape it is anymore, are taking £100 million approximately per day. That's about 40 billion per year of worldwide taxes to fool us with imagery. And we know it's imagery because when we see the Earth spinning from outer space, we don't see the clouds moving. So it's Hollywood, it's Disney. And how do we know that? Well, if we were on a ball that's 70% covered in water, then you would lose landscape behind the curvature, depending on the distance. Mathematics says that, for example, 10 miles you lose 66 feet, 100 miles you lose 6,666 feet. But where I live, I've taken this photograph, it's 20 miles away. There's supposed to be 80 metres of drop. But I can see buildings from top to bottom in a day, and I can see the street lights of the beachfront at night. So I know there's no curvature at water level. So if the Earth's 70% covered in level water, we're supposing it's either flat or a fourth dimensional shape. We don't know. We don't want to debate beliefs. We're not like trying to be religious. We're just saying we know that we're being lied to about the dimensions. We also know we're being lied to about the situation, because they tell us that this Big Bang is supposedly true and that we're going around the sun at 66,000 miles an hour. Yet how would we have got back to Earth from the Moon or Mars if we don't have a rocket that goes that fast? And also, the experiment we're recommending is make a video of stars and then watch the video in slow motion, and you'll see them change colour, size and geometric shape in high definition without any distortion. Yet they tell us that Twinkle Twinkle Little Star is distortion because it's so far. Yet we know that's not true from having made an experiment with a video camera with a nice lens. You can borrow a friend's, or if you've got one yourself, it's dead easy. And also, like I say, Moonlight chills water within half an hour, so we don't think that anyone but Michael Jackson can do the moonwalk, because if it was a rock reflecting sunlight, it would be neutral or at best warm, but it wouldn't chill. So science proves that they're lying to us. We haven't got the answers of what the moon is or what shape the Earth is or how far stars are, but we know that they're not 20 trillion miles away. It tells us that the phases of the moon are like the lady having every month a new moon herself, yeah? So it's like a masculine, feminine energy in a big atom here. Yeah, it's just interesting, but we know we're being lied to. For 100 million a day that could go towards helping end world hunger and also researching illnesses. So it's a lot of money, 40 billion a year, and the governments trust NASA to put emissions in the sky to combat climate change. I'm more worried about the emissions being toxic than the actual temperature that we're worried about. They always keep us arguing with each other about things that are irrelevant while they promote stuff and we believe it. Now the scientists that are promoting things and we believe in them, that's not scientific. Science is about checking things for ourselves, so that's all we're asking people to do. We trust too much and we're getting ripped off and we're getting brainwashed. I'm glad you're interested. If you've checked, when you've checked and you see that we're onto something, please do help us spread the word. We're being lied to for a lot of money that could go to a lot better causes and help a lot more people than their rich, heavy pockets already.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Have a lovely day.
Yeah, it's definitely not flat though, because this is a hill and I'm walking uphill, so it's definitely not flat. But it might not be a ball.
Good lad. That's one of the best responses I've seen all week.
Sorry, why can't I read it?
Moonland's a hole. That's true. Image of,
good lad.
Oh, that's good. Moonland's a hole.
Neil Armstrong presented fake moon rocket Dutch come. I don't know about that. Passenger planes cannot fly level around the ball.
Even the BBC reported that one with Neil Armstrong with the fake moon rock.
Do not dip the aircraft to try and see if most people's aren't. Do you have the belief of knowing if you were told you were going to go?
What we're getting at is, you'll know if you do the experiments. If I may, I've got loads of these. No matter the distance at water level, you'll never lose landscape behind or below curvature. Yet mathematics say that after 15-20 miles there's supposed to be a big drop. 20 miles away there's supposed to be 80 metres drop.
The only way I get that, and that was the first thing that made me like, it has a lot of time for what you're saying. The only thought is that obviously light bends as well as anything else does, so is it not possible that the optical part of the lens is bending around that curve?
Yeah, I agree, that's a great argument but that we've been programmed to believe, but the point we're saying is no matter what time of day, you know, so it doesn't matter where the light source is, you'll still see the same buildings without any change. So if it was a mirage, it would vary depending on the light source's situation, or it would change on the distance. But no matter the distance, that's 20 miles away. I see the buildings in the day, I see street lights at night. And if you look 100 miles away, like Blackpool to Isle of Man, you'll still see the Isle of Man. So it doesn't matter the distance or the wet light source.
Could it not be not to do with the light source, but just to do with the fact that your eyes will...
Holograms wouldn't be so high definition, so we know that there's no curvature at water level from making the experiments with cameras and our eyes and telescopes, and no matter the distance, if water's level and Earth's 70% covered in water, it can't be a ball. It could be flat, it could be fourth dimensional, we don't know, we don't care about the shape, we just don't like them taking 100 million of our worldwide taxes every day to fool us with Hollywood imagery.
But regardless of whether it's flat or
it's the money, it's the scam.
Where's the money going?
It goes to NASA and all the worldwide space agencies to keep us dumbed down by programming us with television. You know, we see Spider-Man and Superman and the Hulk, but we don't believe them. So why do we believe that spinning ball when that spinning ball doesn't have moving clouds?
So
next time you see it.
The funding for NASA.
Yeah, 100 million a day. That could end world hunger and go towards researching illnesses, cure and prevent so many. You know what I mean? It's a lot of money, 40 billion a year. And apart from the money, they're also in charge of climate change, combating climate change with more chemicals. Well, I'm more worried about the toxicity than the temperature. You know what I mean? And they're also promoting all other industry-driven agendas. We shouldn't trust scientists. We should do our own science, especially when it contradicts what the mainstream narrative's saying. Especially when they're programming us.
And I agree with
Good.
you on 5G.
Good lad.
And I agree with you on the fact that, you know, I've read a lot about Aleister Crowley and Jimmy.
Yeah, and all these.
I know the pre-programming in TV.
Good lad, good lad.
I know, the only thing with the flat Earth is that because it's. I think they use the flat Earth thing as a distraction. I think it's been corrupted.
Good lad, good lad.
I think there is some truth or some element of what
At the end of the day, it's
but
about space exploration.
Every movement that's got any gravitas
hijacked.
gets hijacked.
Yeah.
It has been hijacked, and regardless of whether what you're saying is right or wrong, I think it distracts people from the more pressing issue. At the moment, I think what you're saying is true, but I think before we address the Earth's flat, you need to strike the fact that that's 5G and the geoengineering.
I agree.
That's the most important.
That's why nowhere on that flyer does it say we know the Earth's flat. We're saying we know it doesn't curve as much or at all as they're telling us. Yeah. So we know we're being lied to, and that's an easy experiment to prove we're being lied to, rather than believe that the Earth might be flat. Good girl. And we're also doing another experiment where if you do a video of stars or a planet and then watch that video in slow motion. Now, preferably a modern camera with a big lens. You watch that video in slow motion. They tell you twinkle, twinkle, it's all distortion. You won't see any distortion on your video when you watch it in slow motion. You'll actually see that stars make geometric shapes. A few in a second. It's amazing. They're beautiful and they're a lot closer than what they tell us. So that also means we're not just an insignificant piece of sand in an infinite, massive universe. Lost in space. They're lying to us to make us like a donkey with blinders, blinkers, chasing that materialism carrot when there's a lot of other vegetables and fruit that we could be enjoying in life. So the Big Bang's a load of bullshit because the stars are still in line with the pyramids of Giza. We still see the same zodiac in the same position as they carved in stone in the Aztec and Mayan calendars as well. Moonlight chills water within half an hour. So it can't be a rock reflecting sunlight like they told us, which is why we know that we've been lied to.
What do you mean?
Yeah, you leave a glass of water in your garden, or two, one in the shade and one under the full moon, or a week within after the full moon, and you'll watch it drop in about 2 or 3 degrees Fahrenheit.
The week after the full moon. Why is the week after the full moon?
Because there's different phases. You know, like a lady has a new moon every month. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You know what I'm getting at, yeah? Right, now what I'm also saying is if you use a magnifying glass, it'll drop even more in temperature. So science proves that we're being lied to about the moon landings, where we are in space and what we're on. I know, that's amazing, eh? So with these simple experiments, rather than believe the Earth might be flat, we know that the globe is a lie, we know that Big Bang is a lie, we know that space exploration is a scam for 100 million a day, and they shouldn't be trusted by 50 governments to spray more chemicals in the sky.
I think they are trying to do it though. I think it's a pastime of them. I don't think they're going to tell us the truth about it, but I think they are spending money playing around with it. Well, I don't think it's necessarily
I think that we could do a lot better with that money. 40 billion a year could go not to Hollywood, but to things that really matter and that could change the world that we are living in.
Do you have a name for your crew?
Well, my friend has got a good channel. It's called John Smith's Globe Lie, and he's got...
Is that written on here somewhere?
No, we don't.
Why have you got the cameras on that?
We're trying to show people how you can have conversations without having arguments and debates, because that's, like your friend says, that's what they want us to do. They have us debating about religion, debating about politics between us, rather than coming together and saying, "Oi, stop having all our money." You know what I mean? We want politicians to wake up and tell us that they'll stop the spending going to that if we have to have politicians. We don't even think we need politicians, because since Facebook's been out, we've been able to vote what we like, what we don't like, and put our own opinion.
Doing it on the platform.
We'll make a transparent platform that's governed by us, make it completely transparent, where we see the expenditure, where we see the income, where we see our votes. No secret societies manipulating the masses. It's pretty obvious, and I'm glad you're on board with a lot of that stuff. You check it out for yourself.
The Earth's flat. I just think that's used a lot of the time to divide them and
Who
shut
cares?
That down.
Yeah, I agree.
You know,
Who cares what shape it is?
Your questioning and the 5G, but the main important thing is the fact that they're spraying chemicals out the sky and the 5G's everywhere. That's going to kill everyone before the Earth's flat around us.
Exactly. But if it's the same people that are promoting it, maybe we'll stop people from believing and trusting them, and we'll get people to wake up, stand together, and revolt if that's what's needed.
Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate. Thank you so much.
You just need to keep people learning, and it'll sort itself out.
Hey, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much, guys. Have a lovely day. Great. Well, what it is, we're programmed to believe whatever we see on television, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, NASA are taking, with the other space agencies of the world, 100 million a day. That's 40 billion a year that could help end world hunger, go towards investigating illnesses. We could put an end to all that shit if we just do a few experiments ourselves. It's dead simple. Mathematics states that over 20 miles you're supposed to lose 80 metres behind landscape, behind curvature, below curvature. You don't. Check for yourselves, you're not that far from the ocean. Now, I don't know if the Earth's flat. Could be a fourth dimensional shape. I don't give a shit. I'm against the space exploration taking 100 million a day of our taxes, yeah? They also tell us that we should believe in this Big Bang. It's a load of bollocks, right? Because in 10,000 years since they did the pyramids and the Aztecs and the Mayans did their calendars in stone, we still see the same stars in the same places. Now they say they're dead far away. Experiment 2. Make a video of a star, or if you want a planet, and then watch that video in slow motion. and you'll not see any distortion like they tell us the twinkle twinkle's all distortion. It's high definition. My camera can't see 20 trillion miles away. They're lying to us about the situation, the dimensions, and they said they did a walk on the moon. I only think Michael Jackson can do the moonwalk because Moonlight chills water. Check it for yourselves. You only need a thermometer and you've proven that they're lying to us. And they're not just taking our money, guys. You've heard of chemtrails? Spanish government are being honest and saying that they're combating climate change. Well, I'm not that bothered about the temperature. I'm more bothered about the toxic shit that we're all breathing in. We shouldn't trust these guys. That's not scientific, that's religious. Do you want one? Yeah. Thanks, lads. You check it for yourself in case I'm having you on. And if you see I'm right, tell your friends, tell your family, because it's a lot of shit.
Spread the word.
Nice one, guys. Thank you. Have a good day. Hi, ladies.
Hello. Is this serious?
Yes. We're actually saying to people that they should check for themselves rather than believe scientists, which have got agendas, which is usually money. Do the science for yourself and you'll see that Moonlight chills water. There's no curvature at water level, and when you make a video of a star and play it back in slow motion, you'll see that they're not that far away. So we're being lied to.
Your credibility if you put an H in Moonlight on either side of these things. I know it's on both sides. Right, okay?
I normally do spell it right, it's because I was writing it so big. But yeah, apart from my misspelling, because we've got a misspelling there as well, we're not asking people to believe us, we're saying check for yourself and you'll see for yourself that the Moonlight chills water, even if we've spelt it wrong.
Well, anyway.
Well, I appreciate your time. I do normally spell it right. It's
it doesn't matter, anyway.
Put me off. With it being so big, I guess.
Yeah. I'm a geographer.
Ah, lovely.
And actually, a lot of the things, technically, I'm afraid I can't agree with because of my understanding of the way the Earth works. But never mind.
Well, could I show you an image of Red Bull? They've gone up 40 kilometers high. See, I'm into science, maths and everything, yeah? Mathematics says that there's a curvature of 8 inches per mile squared on a sphere of 25,000 miles circumference. There isn't, because no matter the distance, there's never anything hidden behind curvature. So the landscape never gets lost behind or below curvature. That means there's no curvature. And also, no matter how high you go, and you can watch the red. So check for yourself at water level, looking at an island out at sea or looking along the coast. Also watch Red Bull go up 40 kilometers high, and the horizon doesn't drop. It's always eye level. And they faked curvature with a fisheye lens because there's no water in their video. So they're obviously lying about the curvature in Red Bull's video.
When you fly in, or you used to fly in Concorde,
yeah,
you could see the curvature.
Nobody's got a photo. Everyone's got memories, but no one's got a photo.
My nephew's a fast jet pilot.
Great, tell him about this because
he knows.
Well,
he can see it.
He can see it. Ask him if he's followed a curve. See, if you're on a ball, you'd have to.
On that scale. Anyway, I understand what you're saying.
On a 12-hour flight that goes on the other side of a ball, you'd have to keep dropping the nose to follow the curvature, wouldn't you? Otherwise, you'd end up in space if you fly level. So ask him if he's ever had to drop the nose. You know they don't.
Forces. There's the force of propulsion and there's the force of gravity.
Which has never been proven. Gravity is a theory, hence why it's called the theory of gravity. It's been they measure how quick things drop, but they can't manipulate
like the
it.
theory of evolution.
Exactly. There's no bones of half men, half monkeys. It all gels together as a lie.
I taught someone today.
You know what I mean? There's no evidence of evolution. There's no evidence of gravity.
Anyway.
There's only theories. So we're not asking people to believe us. We're saying you check for yourself. Moonlight chills water. And even if I've spelt it wrong, you can check for yourself with a thermometer. Stars come in a lot closer than we were being told with a modern camera. And there is no loss of landscape behind curvature, and no pilot has ever had to drop the nose to follow a curvature, and the horizon is always eye level. Please do ask your, was it brother or stepbrother? Nephew. You ask your nephew if the horizon's always at eye level. No matter which window you look out in your next flight, you're going to see the horizon at eye level, which means it's not dropping down. So if it's not dropping down, there is no curvature. We're being lied to for 100 million a day.
It can't. Anyway, I haven't got the time to stand and...
No, we don't want to...
Anyway,
but you've got the information, and now you know how to check for yourself. Thank you. Check for yourself. Moonlight chills water. You can do it with a glass of water in your garden. Would you like a flyer, darling? You check for yourself. Moonlight chills water. Within half an hour, you'll see it drop 2 to 3 degrees Fahrenheit in full moon or the week after the full moon. And if you use a magnifying glass, it'll go down even more in temperature. So it's not possible that it's a rock reflecting sunlight, otherwise it would be neutral or even warm. It chills water. Also, make a video of a star or a planet with a nice modern camera with a big lens, and watch the video in slow motion, and you will see that they're not 20 trillion miles away. So that's a load of bullshit, that Big Bang, because if it was true, they wouldn't still line up with the pyramids of Egypt, and we wouldn't still see the same 12 zodiac in the same positions as the Aztecs and Mayans inscribed in stone. And as well as that, they tell us that we're living on a ball. Well, the mathematics states that the more distance, the more drop. Well, I live in Benidorm, and 20 miles away is supposed to be 80 metres drop, yet I can see the buildings of 30-40 metres tall from top to bottom in the daytime, and I can even see street lights along the beachfront at night. You live close to the sea, so you can check for yourself rather than believe my pictures or anything you see on television. They take $100 million, or pounds, it's nearly the same thing, of worldwide taxes every day goes to Hollywood to fool us. Now that money adds up to 40 billion a year. That could investigate research, cures and preventions of illnesses. It could help end world hunger. And it's not just the money that they're taking to fool us and keeping us all dumbed down, thinking that we're just material, like a donkey following the carrot. They're also in charge of geoengineering. The governments trust them, this is a Spanish government website, to spray emissions in the sky to help combat climate change. How about we worry more about the toxicity and less about the temperature?
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
You check for yourself. Thank you very much. It's been a lovely attitude. We've had a lot of negative responses today. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Thank you. We're finding that moonlight chills water within half an hour. You can check with a thermometer rather than believe me. So it doesn't seem like a rock reflecting sunlight would chill, but it does. And if you use a magnifying glass, it'll go down even more in temperature. Also, there's never any loss of landscape below or behind curvature, no matter the distance at water level. So if water's always level, we can't be on a ball, and we don't know if it's flat or fourth dimensional. We're not here to debate religious beliefs or preach. We're just telling people that lying to us about the dimensions, they're lying to us about space exploration and the situation of Earth. They tell us a Big Bang so we feel insignificant. Make a video of stars or planet and watch it in slow motion, and you'll see there's no distortion. Twinkle twinkle's distortion? Nah. You see high resolution geometric shapes changing in like 2 or 3 a second. They take $100 million, euros, pounds, and all the same per day. It's 40 billion a year to fool us. That could help end world hunger and go towards researching illnesses. And also the governments, 50 around the world or more, trust them to put crap in the sky to combat climate change. Maybe we should lower the emissions before we put more in and worry more about the toxicity instead of the temperature. They just propaganda us to believe everything that they want, which has always got an agenda, hasn't it? And we're saying rather than be divided like they've always had us arguing about religion and politics, we should come together and say stop taking our money, stop spraying shit in the sky, stop fooling us, you know?
Oh, I have to go, but...
No, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Can I give you a flyer, darling? We're asking people to check... Well, I'll tell you about it quickly. We're asking people to check for themselves. Instead of believing scientists that take a lot of money, we're asking people to do the science. Now, if you leave a glass of water in your garden, or two, one in the shade, one in moonlight, you'll see that the temperature drops of the one that's under the moonlight, where the one in the shade stays the same, obviously. So space exploration is obviously a big scam, because if the moon was a rock reflecting sunlight, it would supposedly 12% of the sunlight, then it would be warm or neutral. It wouldn't chill, but it does, and you can check that with a magnifying glass and it'll drop even more in temperature. So that's science showing that moonlight is a negative radiation. So like a lady has a new moon every month. It's a yin-yang symbol. Yeah, we see the sun and the moon going above us, yet that we're told, no, we're going around the sun. The only evidence we've got is on videos from NASA. Yet when you watch a video of Earth spinning, now that I've mentioned this to you, you watch the clouds, they don't move. In half a rotation, supposedly 12 hours, if the clouds are the same, that's Photoshop, isn't it? So you look at with new eyes now, and if you ever do get a chance, check with a thermometer and you'll see that Moonlight chills. If you make a video of a star or a planet and then watch that video in slow motion, you'll see that they're not 20 trillion miles away. That's a lie. You see no distortion in your video, you see high definition, and you see geometric patterns. There's no need for them to be making geometric patterns. They're a lot closer than what they say, and they're not what they say. And this Big Bang's a load of crap to make us feel insecure and lost in space. Well, the stars are still in line, Orion's belt is still in line with the pyramids. The Aztecs and Mayans did the same constellations as we still see today in the same positions. Nothing's moved. We're being lied to. For a lot of money, 100 million a day, which is 40 billion a year, goes to waste to give us Hollywood to fool us. We could put that 40 billion a year towards ending world hunger and also researching illnesses to prevent and cure them. Also, we're told that there's curvature, yet if you look at the mathematics for a sphere of 25,000 miles in circumference, the mathematics states how much drop there should be, yet you won't see that in reality. You'll only see it in calculations. I've made the experiment in Benidorm. I've also done it here. There's an ocean not that far away from here, and if you go to Blackpool you can see the Isle of Man. So no matter the distance, it never shows up a loss of landscape behind curvature. They're lying to us, and they're not just taking 100 million a day, they're also in charge of this geoengineering to combat climate change. How about we lower the emissions and worry more about the toxicity rather than worrying about the temperature change? The governments around the world trust NASA to do these things because we just believe what we're told instead of believing our own observations, because nobody makes these observations because we all think it's a done deal. So we're just trying to tell people, check for yourself and not debate with people about beliefs, but know from experience. And hopefully when there's enough of us, we'll stop letting them take our money, stop letting them poison our skies, stop letting them pump crap in our blood that doesn't need to be in there. I'm not saying that vaccines are bad, I'm saying that vaccines with mercury are bad. And all this GMO stuff, we don't know about the secondary effects of 5G because we're promoted by these same scientists that everything's hunky-dory without actually thinking, hold on, maybe we shouldn't trust them so much because that isn't science, that's religion. I'll give you this because I got 1,000. You check for yourself.
No, thank you.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
But thank you for talking to me, and do keep them things in mind. Next time you see the globe turning, look at the clouds. They don't move. And if you go on NASA.com, they don't say photo, they say composite image. They're admitting that they're not real.
Okay.
They're lying to us. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day. You too. It's mind-blowing, I know. I couldn't stop laughing when I heard about it, but then I did the scientific experiments for myself.
It's okay, I'm sorry. I do believe they went to the moon.
Oh, did you know Moonlight chills water? Check with a thermometer and you won't believe that rubbish anymore. Can I give you a flyer, darling? We're asking people to check for themselves instead of believing scientists that take 100 million a day of our worldwide taxes to fool us with imagery and videos of a globe spinning when the clouds never move. Check for yourself now, I've said that. I never realised until people told me. All the images on NASA are called composite images, they're not photographs, and all the videos show that the clouds don't move, so they're all fake. Now, I started doing my own experiments when I heard that Moonlight chills, and I found that it does. You can leave one glass in the shade and one glass in the full moon, or within a week after the full moon, and it'll drop 2 or 3 degrees. If you use a magnifying glass, it'll drop even more. So I don't believe in space exploration, especially for 100 million a day, which is 40 billion a year, that could help end world hunger and go towards researching illnesses. Let's prevent and cure things here rather than talk about fantasies, sci-fi, science fiction, you know. So Moonlight chills, check it for yourself with a thermometer. Make a video of a star or a planet and watch the video in slow motion. They tell us that the twinkles are distortion. There's no distortion in any video of stars when you watch them in slow motion. There's high definition. They're a lot closer than what we're told. So all this Big Bang, you're an insignificant piece of dust in an infinite universe. It's just to make us feel insecure. It's all a lie, because the stars are still in line with the pyramids, the stars of Orion's belt. We still see Aquarius and Scorpio in the same place. All the zodiacs in the same place as the Aztecs and Mayans drew in stone 10,000 years ago. It's all a lie. We've got history and a camera that can prove that. The Big Bang, space exploration, and they tell us we're on
the Big Bang isn't a fact anyway.
Exactly, it's called a theory, just like the theory of gravity, just like the theory of evolution. The reason they're not proven is because they're lies, and you can prove that by checking that Moonlight chills. Because if it was a rock...
How is
I'll explain it to you.
Gravity a lie?
I'll explain that to you.
We use it to build our buildings, and the buildings withstand.
Actually, it's density. Water vapour rises until it condenses, and then rain drops. So it's density. Just like helium rises, just like smoke rises.
Right, but you have to use many different theories to
justify a lie. Where a natural no, I'm not bullying you here. I'm just showing
I
you.
Feel bullied.
Good. What I'm saying is, they have to use a lot of calculations and explanations to make everything make sense. But if your natural observation can see that you float in salt water but you sink in fresh water, we know the law of density is real. That's why it's not called a theory of density. Do you get me? Mm-hmm. The theory of gravity has never been proven. It only explains how people in Australia don't fall off the bottom. Now, if we're not on a ball, we don't need that theory. It's density. Do you get me? So I'll just tell you this real quick. Stars, make a video, you'll see they're not that far away. Moonlight chills, so it can't...
Earth is flat?
It could be flat, or I know we've been primed since. Do you remember when you were a kid and you had that textbook and it showed you the Earth with water falling off? That's called negative priming.
Never.
Well, I do. We've been told that they used to think the Earth was flat, ha ha ha, and we've all been programmed to laugh at it because they knew that one day technology was going to catch up.
I've seen the in-depth conspiracy theories, and if you watch them, it's.
Second,
you're like, oh my god.
I know, but it's
then
all.
You remember that it's not.
But it's all secondary information. So rather than believe theories you see on YouTube or believe the mainstream media.
Elon Musk's photos, because he's not.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Can I just show you this? I've got a picture of Elon Musk here. And by the way, no matter the distance, they never lose landscape below or behind curvature. Yet mathematics is provable. Everyone can repeat and get the same mathematics. Where I live, 20 miles away, there's supposed to be 80 metres drop, and I know there isn't. It's not a theory, because I can see the buildings of 30, 40 metres high in the daytime and see street lights at night. And if you go Blackpool, that's 100 miles away, Isle of Man, you can see the Isle of Man. So it doesn't matter the distance, you never lose any landscape below curvature. I know it's crazy and it's mind-blowing, but check this out. You said Elon Musk, yeah? He put a car in space, did he? Well, how come the wheels didn't explode from the loss of pressure? Because if you go down into the ocean, things implode from the high pressure. If you go in outer space, there's no pressure, so that wheel would expand until it explodes. Also, the plastics and the rubbers didn't burn, yet we're told the thermosphere's thousands of degrees hot. Now, they contradict...
Maybe it was a special model.
Maybe. Or maybe it was a load of bullshit. Because guess what? Check this out. You watch this video again now. I've told you this. There's no stars behind Earth in any of the recordings, and also they say that they were 177 kilometres away from Earth. Look how small Earth is. Yet the International Space Station claims to be double that distance, more than double. Yet look how big their image of Earth is, or the videos. You never see a video of Earth spinning with the clouds moving. The clouds are always fixed, which means they're photoshopped. You never see stars, and even when NASA does their first picture on the moon, shouldn't they have to look up to see Earth? I have to look up to see the moon? Well, anyway, there's no stars and it's small. Yet when they do a video from behind the moon, Earth's big. They cocked it up. And when they're walking on the moon, the surface is dull. Yet when I look at the moon, it's bright. And there's no stars. And the studio setting wasn't that big, was it? Because I can see the horizon in front of him and behind him. It's a small studio. The moon's a lot bigger than that. So this is the thing. Even Red Bull, when he went up 40 kilometres high, the horizon's at eye level. Yet we know that if you go up from a ball, the horizon would drop. As you go up higher, the horizon, you'd have to look further down. But you don't. And when he steps out of his little capsule, watch the video and you won't see any ocean. Yet the Earth's 70% covered in water, which is always level. So how can we be on a ball? Mathematics don't lie. So yeah, you check at water level, you'll never lose anything behind curvature. Make a video of stars, you'll see they're not that far. And check the temperature of water after half an hour of exposure to moonlight, and you'll see it drops. So that proves that we're being lied to. I don't know if it's flat or a fourth dimensional shape. I don't care. I just don't like them wasting all our money, which could be much better invested. And I specifically don't like that they're adding toxins to the sky to combat climate change. We should be more worried about the toxicity that we're breathing in and could be causing illnesses rather than the temperature. These aeroplanes are equipped to spray chemicals, and the Spanish government tell us 50 countries in the world trust them to combat climate change with chemicals. How about we stop adding shit to the air and we take away these patents of renewable energy that the rich people have got and say enough's enough, guys, let's use a common sense. The same guys are promoting that GMOs have got no side effects, that vaccinations don't need to be updated, they're still putting mercury and stuff in them. And they're also telling us that
mercury in what?
Vaccinations have got
Who's
so
doing
many...
that?
The people that make vaccinations have got some really weird ingredients. I can write your website down so you can see all the... This is the thing, I had an argument with a doctor the other day. It's okay, I didn't want to make you cry.
No,
I know. Well, I had an argument, sadly, with a doctor the other day because he was telling me I'm dangerous. And I'm like, why am I dangerous for raising awareness about stuff that people don't know, like the geoengineering and that vaccinations could maybe be improved?
I didn't hear about that either.
And the thing is, the doctor didn't even know the ingredients of vaccinations, yet he was telling me I'm dangerous for questioning the authorities. And I'm saying, no mate, you're dangerous, because microwaves, if you put water in a microwave and heat it up and then let it cool down and then water your plant, after 2 to 3 weeks of doing that, the plant dies. Yet they're telling us that 5G, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth we've got nothing to worry about. It's time we started using our common sense and believing our own senses instead of what we're being told, because that ain't science when we believe scientists with an agenda. That's religion. Well, the thing is, we're out here and there's loads of people out talking about it, because the more of us that wake up to the fact that we're being lied to, the sooner we'll be able to stop all that money going to waste, and the sooner we'll be able to get the politicians to put the foot down and say, no NASA, we don't want you spraying that shit in the sky, we want to take away them patents from the rich guys that are taking up all the renewable energies. They're also programming us to believe their agendas so that we can go to war for them. They're also making us all materialistic with crazy hypnotic spells. I'll catch up with you now. And they're also lying to us about history, because every city around the world shows evidence underground that there was the main floor was actually now the main floor, and now we're talking about the second floor. So there's lots of evidence that I'll leave with you to look into.
Thank you.
And Harry, I need the scissors. What's your name, sorry? Sharon, I've had a lovely conversation with you. My name's Howard, and when you've checked them things for yourself, please just tell your friends and family, because like I say, that's all we need to do. The truth will set us free if we're responsible to share it. Thank you so much. That was a lovely conversation. Lovely to meet you. You too.